Caller says to Temba, "Hello, Temba. You have won a trip for two to Dubai." "Wow, thank you so much," says Temba. And caller says, "Who are you going to take with you, sir?" "I'm taking no one with me. I will go twice," said Temba. Okay, I'm so glad that we are not a sporting program, which means I don't have to say anything about football tonight. And I won't. Or should I? No, I won't. So let us get down to the business of the day. It is Monday. To us, it is Motivation Monday. And like all other Mondays, we bring you programming aimed at your personal development. And this we do with our resident personal development coach, Dr. Thando Sibanda, motivational speaker, coach, and author of The Winning Mindset. Good evening and welcome to Talk with Rams Live. Thank you for your support and loyalty. We do our best to repay you by bringing you good content. This is the most powerful 30 minutes of digital content this side of the equator. If you disagree with me, prove me wrong. We are live on Facebook and Instagram, and you can also catch us on YouTube. On all platforms, we go by name and surname, Talk with Rams. Let me remind you, we need your support. We need you to follow and like our pages. We need you to subscribe to our YouTube page. Your numbers will help us grow. But your numbers will do nothing for me personally. Please do not send me a friend request. I am not here in my personal capacity, and that is why we separate the brands. I'm here as host of Talk with Rams Live. So follow that page on Facebook, like it on Instagram, and subscribe to it on YouTube. As a bonus, if you did that on YouTube and took a screen grab and send it to admin@talkwithrams.com, we will give you 50% discount on Dr. T's book, The Winning Mindset. Guaranteed. Good evening, Dr. T, and welcome.
Good evening, my brother. How are you doing, sir?
I'm dark and lovely, thank you. And how are you?
No, I'm well. I'm very excited this Monday, man. We get to work with our people.
Exactly. Well, let me start by giving a very important thing out there. We are not live today. Thanks to ESCOM, we've had to pre-record. Be that as it may, Dr. T will be responding to your questions and comments in real time. So keep them coming. We will respond to them. Tonight, Dr. T, we're talking key definers of success. Are we talking about, what are we talking about there? What are we talking about key definers? Is it determinants, or is it how will I know when I'm successful? What are we talking about?
Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for actually introducing it in that manner. We are talking about determinants in the context of us as individuals. In fact, you see, success is a very interesting concept. But when we distill success, right, and really break it down to its key components and look at people who have become sustainably successful, and I need to say sustainably successful because we are developing people, we're not just motivating them, we are transforming them, right? So the question is, what are the qualities of those people who become sustainably successful? What can we pick up? Remember, success leaves clues. You know, what distinctly sets apart successful people, or what distinctly sets apart success from the rest? How do they rise shoulders above, high above the rest? So it's very important for us to realize that, Rams, and to contextualize it for our people. You know, I always say that, you know, a better salesperson begins with a better you, a better manager begins with a better you, a better team leader begins with a better you, a better champion begins with a better you, you know, you know, a lot of people want to be successful, but how many are willing to invest in themselves to take that inward journey? Because true success is more an inward journey than it is an outward one. You are successful first as an individual before you are successful as an activity.
Wow, you know, Dr. T, what you just said just defined for me some of the greatest teams I've seen in the world. Because it then says the team manager believed that they were a successful person themselves first before they could transmit that to the team. They had to believe that they were successful and they worked on their own success.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, when you look at whether it's your top coaches in the world, whether it's the Liverpool coach, man, this amazing guy, what's his name?
Oh, Klopp, Jurgen Klopp.
Yes. We are now in the age of Klopp, right? Klopp first is a success himself, and then all he has to do is to simply transfer that mindset to the rest of the team, and once that happens, you realize that, my God, we now have a successful full team. In fact, one of the key things that they did a study, and they saw that you see, for example, LeBron James, one powerful thing is that the time that he spends on the court, he can play for the whole game, but he only has the ball for a certain number of minutes. It's when he has the certain ball for a certain number of minutes that then everyone else raises their game to the level that he's at. But all of that comes because he has a certain concept of success as an individual himself that then starts to seep out to everybody else. So it all begins with you as an individual. You want to be successful, it's first an inward journey before it is ever an outward activity.
I love how we started, but yeah, let's move away from football before you get me excited. Let's look at some of the key principles that define success then, Dr. T.
All right. I want us today to really zoom into this particular principle that I think is the key to the other principles that we're going to look at in the next couple of weeks. I want us to talk about hunger. As a concept, and ask the question, just how hungry are you for your success? Because hunger is a key, it's a determinant. And let me just give what is called a disclaimer here, right? When I'm talking hunger, I'm not talking entitlement, right? And when I'm talking hunger, I'm not talking corruption. I don't say, no, the comrades are hungry. So when I'm talking hunger, I'm not talking corruption, neither am I talking entitlement. I'm talking to the concept of hunger, and how that becomes a motivating factor and a key determinant in the matrix of success. See, success is a matrix, and one of the key component parts that I believe is central and pivotal to how successful an individual becomes is the degree of their hunger.
Wow. And I when we planned this show, I had to think about the dictionary definition of hunger: a feeling of discomfort or weakness caused by a lack of food coupled with the desire to eat.
I love that. The concept of hunger is that feeling of discomfort or weakness, right? That's caused by a lack of something.
Yes.
So success in its framework must be driven by hunger. There must be a hunger. There must be a feeling of discomfort or weakness that's caused by a lack of something. So every individual, for example, when you look at in the context of food, there's a lack of food, a need for food, there's an emptiness, there's starvation, there's famine, there's malnutrition, malnourishment. It actually speaks to a space. The departure point for success is a space that says that I need this to be filled in the context of what I want to achieve. Where there is no hunger, Rams, there is no drive, because drive comes from the context of hunger. In fact, when we look at it in terms of the psychology of it, that word hunger speaks to having a strong desire or a strong craving for something. Craving. That's where hunger comes from. It's a craving. So successful people are motivated by a drive or a hunger for success, to succeed. That drive is the key differentiator.
Yes, it's very
Right.
important. So what you mean is that it's not an event. It's not like I want to eat food now and that's what it is. It's a constant. The drive is a constant.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a constant. It's an insatiable drive that says I need to get where I am going. It's a drive that keeps you going even in the light of impediment. You see, a lot of people, they prepare for success, but they don't prepare for pushback. You know, they don't prepare for impediments. But it is your hunger that keeps you going in spite of your impediments, in spite of the challenges that you face. If you look at your top people, whether it's in the sporting world, it's in the business world, it's in any area of human endeavor, the ones who have stayed at the pinnacle of success longer are those that stayed hungry. That concept of hunger is very, very key.
How do I stay hungry? How do I keep this constant in my life, Dr. T? How do I stay hungry?
Lovely.
And before you answer, Dr. T, because it's human nature that I score big and I think this is it. This happened. I've got this big contract. I'm gonna supply the municipality or ESCOM or whoever, or I've got this big promotion. Therefore, I'm good. It's almost human nature to say I don't need to do more. How do I stay hungry?
That's such a powerful question, Rams, and you've really set an amazing context to bring about understanding of this. Now, the bigger challenge, as you are saying, is that once someone hits a score, they think they are successful. No, you have achieved something. But success must be sustainable in the context that we are building people, that we are helping people to grow, right? And so there are certain keys that are applicable to help people understand the concept of being hungry, and then understand how to stay hungry. In fact, there are people that land in this country and they hit the ground running. That may not even have been born here, but they hit the ground running and they become sustainably successful. There are people that arrive in a company and they start at the bottom, but because they've got this hunger, they do their work. They meet their targets. They hit the ball out of the park and they rise and get to certain levels. It's because that concept of hunger is very much alive. So now the question, how do you stay hungry? The first thing I will say is don't let success get to your head. That's key number one. Don't let success get to your head. And I'll tell you why. Because success is an interesting thing. It's a drug. It's a drug. So success fits into your ego, but it is only as sustainable as your hunger. You see? So success fits into your ego. Success makes you feel good. It makes you feel great, but your success is only as sustainable as your hunger. The moment you let it get into your head, that loss of focus from goal to yourself, because once success gets into your head, you have then moved the focus from the goal to yourself, right? And that shift of focus ultimately becomes your downfall. So it must always be about the goal and not be about you, because success is fed by hunger more than anything else. It is the key ingredient. That's the key ingredient. Your hunger is the key ingredient for success, but don't let it get to your head.
Wow. Okay. I hear you. What else do I need to do?
Right. Just to even add on to that, look at a lot of people. I remember we were talking about character the other day, and I said our challenge in Africa, and indeed on a global scale, is that we rise fast, but we don't shine for long. One of the reasons why we don't shine for long is because we let success get into our heads. So as quickly as we reach the top, we start to decline. Why? Because we don't understand that success is a drug, but it is your hunger that keeps you going. Number two, Don't let you get in the way. Don't let you get in the way of your
What
hunger
do you
and
mean,
your
Dr. T?
success. Right. I mean that psychologically, we are predispositioned to reduce effort once we have a sense of arrival. Psychologically, whether you are running a race, the moment you cross the line or you feel you've crossed the line, what happens? You de-accelerate.
Yes.
And that's usually the challenge when it comes to the psychology of success, because your drive and your exertion of energy is achieved. So we allow ourselves the right to indulge in other comforts, and then we reduce on our hunger for sustained success. So you find that people will push ranks. Someone pushes and says, no, I want to get to this goal, I want to get to this goal, I want to get to this goal. The moment they arrive at the goal, then they allow themselves to get in the way, because now they're like, you know what, I have arrived, you know what, I deserve the pegs. And then we forget to keep the fire burning that has brought us to this position. And that becomes our downfall. We normally get in the way. I'm sure you've seen footballers that have gained weight more than the required weight,
Yes. Yes.
They allowed themselves to get in the way. I'm sure you've seen guys that had opportunity, great speakers that allowed themselves now to come to a gig drunk. They allowed themselves to get in the way. You see, so that becomes a very key challenge when it comes to the concept of success and how we move forward.
Wow. One of the things I found difficult with success, Dr. T, and I'm going to make an example to say, let's say I'm an author and I've wanted to write an amazing novel, and I managed to finally put it down, and wow, far beyond my expectations. I get the awards, I get recognition, this becomes a bestseller, I address great institutions and stuff all over the world. How do I invent new hunger? Here I am now, I've become this celebrated author of this one book. How do I then reinvent new challenges, Dr. T, so that I can produce another bestseller?
Right. In fact, that's a very powerful one, Rams. One of the keys to keep your hunger constant is reinvent new heights. Reinvent new heights. You see, the whole concept of hunger is the fact that I've always said hunger is a constant. It doesn't matter how much you eat. In a couple of hours, you need to eat again. And then in a couple of hours, you need to eat again. In a couple of hours. So the psychology or the matrix of hunger says that it comes at you repeatedly and you fulfill it, but it comes at you repeatedly. Don't settle where you are at. Be able to reinvent yourself, reinvent yourself and rediscover yourself, because these are the keys to what I call sustainable conquests. You've got to be hungry for more. In fact, there are 4 stages of personal growth. There's a personal growth cycle, and you see that it's also applicable in business, because a lot of people fall apart when it comes to actually mastering this. The first one, I call it the startup or the self-discovery phase. Everybody must go through a self-discovery phase where you determine your value and your value proposition. Whether you are an individual or you are a business, if you don't have that, you don't have a product, you don't have anything to take to market, even as an individual. That's why I always say to everybody, the moment you turn of age, go and get yourself an ID and a driver's license. That's base level number 1. You've created an opportunity. Once you have an ID and a driver's license, you have no other skill in life. Get yourself an ID, get yourself a driver's license. You have created some value, right? So discovery and startup is stage number 1 in your personal growth cycle. The second one is the actual growth. So now you know your value, you have locked in to a position in the market through either the way you market yourself and how you deliver your service. So people know if you want personal development, go to Dr. Thando. They know if you want to understand what your future looks like and what your business looks like, go to Rams. So you start out, you discover yourself, and then growth is the next stage. Now you are getting known. Now you are growing yourself. You are growing your value proposition. And the third level is maturity. Maturity happens when you are a trusted brand. And maturity is a factor of time. In any given platform, it's always a factor of time. Once you've spent enough time doing something, you figure it out. Even when you are dancing, we used to dance the bus stop. Even this dance that they're doing, the Jerusalem dance, where you go 1, 2, 3, and then you turn around and you face that way. Once you are mature and you are good at it, you could face this way, but still arrive in step. Now that's a function of maturity. So very important, and it's a function of time. If you give it time, you sort of figure it out. And then one of the key things, and this is where we are about reinventing new heights, is that the fourth stage is either renewal or decline. That phase, those two phases, they stand back to back. It's either you renew yourself or you go down. Either you rediscover, set a new height, set a new goal, and use your current haven as a stepping point, as a trampoline for your next level and not a ceiling. The challenge we have, Rams, is that a lot of people today want to live on past glory. And it works, right? A lot of us, not on ours good in 1975. Well, this is no longer 1975. What's your value proposition today? It goes right out of politics. What are you doing today that makes you relevant from where you are? Yes, we are a big team. We are very known. We've got a long, great history. I appreciate that. But what cups are you winning today? As an individual, what's your value proposition today? So you've got to use your position today as a stepping stone to create new heights. Then that hunger, guess what, then becomes the drive for you to move forward. You can't stop being hungry if you are going to be relevant and if you are going to be amazing.
Wow. I hear you. And I don't even have any qualm with that, Dr. T. But my question is, am I allowed to have fun in this journey? Could I feel like I'm doing great? Or should I worry that, hey, I'm doing great, but I must be careful? Could I have fun in this process?
Oh, absolutely. 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 Key number 4 to keeping your hunger, fueling you is allow yourself to enjoy the experience in your journey and the experience of your journey. You see, once you allow yourself to appreciate where you are, like right now, I am where I am, but I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry to churn out. I'm working on 3 other books that I'm churning out. I've got writing timelines before the end of the year. I've got a whole thing on just personal development and this and that and helping people. Why? But I still allow myself to enjoy where I am. When I do that, when I appreciate where I am, I psychologically position myself in a state of continuous appreciation. Remember, psychologically, you need to feel a sense of reward for you to feel like what you are doing is worth it. So wherever you have arrived in your journey to your success, allow yourself to want to appreciate it. You will live a full life where hunger keeps your drive active, but it keeps your experience whole. So you still have a whole experience of life while your hunger is active, while your drive is active. Remember Madiba. Madiba says, I have walked that long road to freedom in that book. He says, I've tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way, but I've discovered that the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me and to look back on the distance I have come. But I can only rest for a moment. For with freedom comes responsibilities. I dare not linger, for my long walk is not yet ended. Now, here is a man who understands that I've got to live a full life, a whole life. And I appreciate how far I have come, but I'm cognizant of the fact that I've got to keep reinventing myself. I've got to keep aiming higher. I've got to keep going for bigger goals. I've got to keep dreaming bigger, because that is what keeps my life progressive.
Oh, you know, Dr. T, I need to tell you this. You're the
Yes,
first
sir.
person I know who's made me feel like hunger is not an enemy to me. Like I must really look forward to being hungry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hunger is not your enemy. In fact, hunger pangs are not your enemy. They are simply a sign that you still have capacity.
Wow.
Because as long as you are full, you don't get hungry, so you don't get hunger pangs.
Yes.
So hunger is a sign that there is capacity. It means we can eat some more. It means we can still accommodate more growth. It means we can still dream bigger. It means we can still push. We can still go forward. And that's why hungry people never retire. They simply transition from one platform to the next, from one phase to the next, from one opportunity to the next. We've got to stay hungry, Rams. We've got to stay hungry.
But what do you say, Dr. T, to those who say, quit while you're still at the top, or don't overstay your success?
Right. That is a sign that is saying that you don't have, you've reached your capacity. You see, quitting at the top doesn't mean drain yourself of energy and go down. No, it simply means that realize that, okay, this is what I have achieved here. Let me set new sights and reinvent myself. The challenge is people who don't want to reinvent themselves, and then they end up overstaying their shine, and then they start to decline in the spotlight. That's the challenge. So don't decline while in the spotlight. No, set a new goal so that you can let others step into where you were stepping while you are now looking for new opportunities and new positions. Let your hunger always be the launch for your next level. That's why I'm saying that hungry people never retire. They simply transition from one platform or from one phase to the next.
So are you saying to me?
Yes, sir.
Are you saying to me, Dr. T, that in my cycle of life, I could have many startups, many
Absolutely. Look at it this way. Let's take you for example. You hit the pinnacle when you were with Metro. But guess what you did after that? You said, no, I've arrived at this pinnacle. Guess what? Let me reinvent myself and set new heights. Now you've got new energy, you've got new drive, now you've got new hunger. You are going after this. But guess what? When this season is done, you will be able to transition into even greater glory and greater fulfillment as you set new heights and reinvent yourself and stay relevant and stay powerful and stay pushing. Now that's the key to success.
Okay, so I must look forward to my hunger pangs. I must stay hungry. I must focus. I must grow and be mature and do it well. But also in the process, I must enjoy the successes, the hills that I've overcome. That's very good for me, Dr. T, because we don't do that. We sometimes undermine what we have done very well because we tend to think, but the journey is still too long. I like that. That gives me perspective. So not to punish myself too much, but I promise I won't rest on my laurels. I still believe there's a lot more to be done. I don't think we should get to the next factors, Dr. T. We should stay with hunger and finish hunger today, so that next week we get to other factors of success.
Yes, sir. I can see our time has left us. But absolutely, let me just close this one by saying, stay hungry. Don't allow yourself, to hit a place where you now just have ceilings. Remember, hunger is not your enemy. Hunger is a sign, both biologically and psychologically, that you still have capacity. I want to say, if you thought you have arrived, look inside and start generating that hunger. You will find that there's still a lot of fight in you, and you can still move forward.
Woo! Wow. Dr. Thando Sibanda, amazing, mate. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I look forward to engaging with our viewers later on.
I can't wait. I can't wait for next week also to go into other keys of success so that we expand on this thing. I'm sure this is going to be like a 3-4 episode kind of content until we have helped people with all the tools they need to become successful. Thank you very much and have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rams. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
And thank you very much to all of you for tuning in. As we said, it was not live, but Dr. T is responding to your comments and your questions live now on Facebook. So tomorrow is Opportunity Tuesday. We're starting a series with the SA Innovation Summit because we've partnered with them. So for the next coming weeks, we will be doing content focused on the summit for Opportunity Tuesday. Do stay with it. Do tell a lot of people who are in the tech business, tech startups. They're going to learn a lot from this summit, and that could be their next breakthrough because there's also opportunity for funding. So if you stay outside, you're never gonna know. Please come in, join us on Talk with Rams Live and know about the opportunities with the South African Innovation Summit. From me, Rams Mabote, good night and God bless.
I am the project manager with the SA Innovation Summit, and I run with the program's origination of startups in South Africa and Africa as a whole. I also support the Women Tech Development Program, which is a female entrepreneur development. And I support the Women Tech Development Program, which is a female entrepreneurship program that aims to support female entrepreneurs in South Africa. And I also help put the summit program, the annual summit program together. And yeah, that's basically me. Okay, so part of the program this year is a focus on the startup to scale up stream, which is basically a focus on the tech entrepreneur and entrepreneurs in general to kind of take them through the startup journey. So that is from ideation, you have the idea, how do you then start up your business, to the growth and scale phase, and then ultimately to exit. How do you develop your business so you can eventually exit with a 20 times return? And that encompasses different masterclasses, panel discussion, roundtable discussions with different founders, investors, and business leaders in Africa. So we've got there's some innovations in health tech, agri-tech, some fintech, some social entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, financial growth, that sort of thing. And basically trying to help Africa become a better place. So we've got quite a few competitions happening this year. We have the FemInTech Demo Day, which is part of our FemInTech development program, and that's a focus on female entrepreneurs with tech and tech-enabled startups in all sectors. And then we have the Swiss SA Pitch Battle, which is high-tech startups, 10 Swiss startups and 10 SA startups. Now we'll go head-to-head to determine who is the best in Europe and Africa. Okay, then we have the GIZ Demo Day, which will feature high-tech agriculture innovations from Southern Africa who are aiming to secure to help with food security in Africa. And then we have the Inventors Garage Demo Day, which is the highlight of the SA Innovation Summit, which is the prototypes, demos, minimal viable products from innovators from Africa, and they're going to showcase all their upcoming prototypes, and there's some interesting innovations there. And then we have the Africa Cup, and the Africa Cup is early stage high growth startups from all sectors who are looking to grow and scale into the rest of the continent. And lastly, our Boost Up competition, which is part of a program with the Southern African Innovation Support Program. And this is early stage startups again from Southern Africa, looking for funding, market exposure, and growth into the African market.